Welcome to MRTV's People in XR. This is the podcast that introduces you to the most exciting players in the industry. And here is your host, Sebastian Ong.
In this episode of the People in XR podcast, it's my utmost pleasure to have Artur Sychov here, who is the founder of Somnium Space. How are you doing, Artur?
Great, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
It's my pleasure too. We have talked with each other for quite some times already on the channel, but not in this podcast.
No.
And I'm really looking forward to go in depth into all the topics that you are like a specialist in, which is social VR.
All right.
Right?
Really?
I would surely think so, since you are the founder of Somnium Space, which is social VR world.
Mm-hmm. True.
Yeah. So for all of our listeners who don't know yet about Somnium Space, could you give us the rundown? What exactly is Somnium Space?
Right. It's an open social world in virtual reality where you can go and do basically anything you like, kind of like in real life, where you can, go and play some bowling with your friends and then stop in the cinema, climb some walls, go to the concert, or just one of my favorite things to do is to just climb the mountain and then watch the sunset or sunrise out of it.
Sounds super romantic.
And it's all in one big world, so we don't divide people into sub-instances. So that's...
Okay, that sounds interesting. What does it mean? You don't divide people into instances. What does it mean?
Normally when you go right now to other VR experiences, even if they are connected, so you have those sub-servers, meaning that if you go somewhere and in some location there is like 32 people, they spawn the mirroring of it, so there will be another 32 people who will go to another mirrored version, kind of like a parallel universes, where you know that they're existing, but you don't know what is there, and people are, so you are divided from your friends into other instances. We have one huge world where not only everyone are in the same world, but also it's one seamless world, meaning no loading screens in between. You can just walk for like 35 minutes or 40 minutes and it will be just new world, different forest structures and stuff like that.
All right. So is this the main differentiating factor as compared to alt space or
one of the many one of the many things, and it's kind of like, I don't know, Skyrim meets Second Life meets whatever you can imagine. It's all like in one thing.
All right, cool. Sounds really amazing. And I think I know what you're talking about. Well, alt space, which I like. I was there from the beginning.
We all like
it. Hi, alt space guys. So I can remember there was they had some cool events, I don't know, it was some concert with Reggie Watts.
Yeah, they do have quite nice
some
events.
Cool things.
Yes.
But then I can remember that the main actor, he was interacting with somebody from the crowd, but it was in a different instance.
Exactly.
Right?
It took me a while to understand what's happening.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I thought it's me being something. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
That is the thing. Right?
That's the thing.
That's the thing we're talking about.
Yes.
So for them, they will use different instances and in mirrored worlds.
Yep.
So they can have so many people at the same space, but they are not really together there.
Exactly.
And that's the difference with Somnium Space.
That's the difference, and we're working on our server technology pretty hard these days, and our vision is we'll be able to hold 2,000-3,000 people concerts in a huge amphitheater without with everyone being in the same place. That's
wow.
Kind of and the performer will be on the stage. That's the vision.
Wow, that is pretty crazy. It seems like that must be super taxing for the servers. I mean, it's all
about smart game mechanics and well-built server technology, for sure. It takes time and money and resources to build servers and to design servers like that. But that's our duty. That's the vision I want to deliver to people. That's the vision I want to actually play and live in VR. So that's what we're trying to build. Yeah.
So it's like a world that is quite like our world, where there's one persistent life. True. Right? I mean,
yes.
It is like this here in this world.
Yes, which is okay.
Which is pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. Would be nice. Yeah, we know that parallel universe exists. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe we don't know. But we're in this instance here together.
Exactly.
Cool.
Would be awkward if we will be in different instances.
You're right. Yeah. So this is what you want to build into Somnium Space. It's like one instance. Yes. This is the big factor.
It is already like now, like that right now. The only thing is we are kind of building in the background that server technology to hold those thousands of people.
Okay.
Right now, we can hold like up to 50 people, 60 people. I think we went in our testing like to 100 people. It's no problem. But of course, we know that when it comes to thousands of people,
It's
2,000,
harder.
it's harder, and that's why we are expanding our server architecture in a way that it will be possible to hold in the future. Right now, sure, you can go in Somnium and you are all in one instance. You can agree to meet somewhere, I don't know, 3 kilometers away from the city center next to this beautiful tree, and you will meet your friend there always.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's the point.
Yeah, that's cool. So when did you start with Somnium Space? Like we're now in 2019, in April 2019 we're now. So when did you start with it?
So the idea was, actually to do or to get involved in VR and to explore that came to me in early 2015, where I was able to have a demo of HTC Vive with full tracking and stuff. I knew about VR before. I had some friends who were doing some VR, more like 360 cameras and stuff. So I was involved, or I invested in that startup. But that VR demo with the whale and then with the bow and stuff, and just being able to move around, that just blew me away. And that's when first I started to explore what is available on the market, which social VR experiences were there, and the only one actually was Outspace. Hello, and it was great, but I was missing some, like visionary. I was dreaming about some Ready Player One stuff, and there are nice Russian books about VR as well, which going really in detail how the world is working and stuff. So that inspired me, and I, slowly but gradually, some bug in my mind was sitting there, and that's how I kind of started to think about it, and then I said, then I have to build my vision by myself. If there's nothing existing like that, then it has to be me who will be building it.
Okay.
Basically.
So you were fascinated by VR in 2015 when you tried the HTC Vive for the first time. Looked what's there, but it didn't fulfill your vision yet.
Not yet,
right?
Yes.
Like
it was great. I mean, it still is okay. It's great, but it didn't bring me that sensation of all right.
Ready Player One.
Ready Player One. We are in that metaverse.
Okay.
It didn't bring the.
You want to build the metaverse. You want to.
Yes.
Be one
we want to be the world where people feel like they are in a big world with other people.
Okay. So when did you start Somnium and how? How did it happen?
So. At that time, I was the CEO of another company, so I was running the electric mobility business, and so I had to come up with an idea like how can I bring the vision, but not devote my full time to it, because I was not able to do so, and I outlined, on the weekends, I outlined the vision in kind of like a presentation myself. So I boxed everything in a way I wanted it to have. And then I reached out to some of my great friends. And Vita is one of the co-founders as well. And I said, look, let's do it. Let's hire some people, and let's try to start building the fundamentals of that vision. And that's how gradually, first demo became in, and then the second demo and iteration came in, all in the free time, all besides, after the job in the nights and stuff.
Wow.
And and at some point it was super obvious that that's the future. That's what I want to do.
Wow.
And that's what excites me. that's what I'm going to sleep with, and that's what I'm getting up with. So, of course, besides my wife and kids, and that's what drive me, and that's why I kind of exited the e-mobility business, and now I'm 100% Somnium, and already for some time, and pushing it forward.
Cool. So it started as a passion project.
100%.
100% passion project.
100%.
Which you
fully
did
funded by me. It's
That's really cool. So you're like the CEO of a company about e-mobility,
Yeah.
like running this stuff. We're now here in Düsseldorf in Germany, right?
Yeah.
So you came here to Düsseldorf to run everything, and from your passion next to it, you're running it on your weekends, next to the time that you normally would spend with your family, probably, right?
Yeah, sure.
That's cool.
And you know, for me, the moment when I will never forget that moment, that what I read about VR and what I dreamed, I think many people dreamed about VR in those worlds. And then by trying the HTC Vive, even the first DK version they had, there was not a consumer version yet. I kind of realized it was kind of in my mind when, you know, before people die, they normally see what all the past. At that moment, I saw all the future of VR. I kind of projected 10 years ahead, and I said, oh my God, this will become a daily driver for majority of people in the world. 100%. I don't know when exactly, but it's 100%. This technology will take over the attention of all the people by huge margin. It will be just obviously huge. Not because I'm a crazy believer in VR and that's why I'm doing Somnium Space and that's why I believe in VR. No, it's other way around. I'm doing space because I know that VR will take over the world, and I just want to build that vision.
Right.
So,
so you have seen the light. And
no, really, like, it's
wow,
no freaking joke. I actually seen the light at that moment, and the moment was exactly when the person. I took the headset on, and then the person handed me over the controllers, and I saw those controllers flying in VR, and then I touched those controllers, and they were there. And at this moment, my brain realized, you know, and then of course you feel the depths of other experiences and what you can do, but you know, those moments where you can see around and you feel that, okay, whatever you do is reflected on the screen, even in the first version, that was amazing. Yes.
It is amazing.
It is amazing.
Cool. So passion project, you hired some people who do it. I think they were located in Prague. Is it like they are in Prague?
Yes. So we've searched. We've had some developers, and Vita was helping me to organize everything again because I was not able to do exactly. He's a co-founder and also an investor. So yeah, that's how it all started, and then gradually took over my life.
All your life.
Oops.
Damn. Yeah, well, that's how passion projects
great.
start, right?
That's
It's the same with this channel. Like, it starts slow, and then suddenly you're doing nothing else.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I can remember, I think in 2017, Somnium launched, and I was actually there at the launch party in Prague.
2018 it was.
Oh, it was 2018.
The official launch was 2018.
Right. So in 2017, you were still working on it.
It was in the background. We were not releasing that.
Nobody knew about it. Just you and
a few people.
You and your team knew about this, basically, right?
Yeah.
How did it feel at this time? Like, you know, you were working on something, and how many people at that time were working on it?
We had fluctuating amount of people, so we had at some point, I think we had 4, and then, you know, when they did their job and it was not needed anymore, because again, it was all funded by me.
Right.
So it costed some money, so I had to really concentrate on things we needed to do. And my vision was to kind of build the first iteration, the first demo, and see how it feels. See how people react, so that we took this really early demo and we went in 2017. We went to VR days in Amsterdam, and we just, you know, had a small booth there, and I observed how people react to that.
And how did they react?
Actually, it was great. So they liked it, and very encouraging was when Philip Rosdale was there. And again, Philip for me was always, you know, the inspiration, because I used to play Second Life a lot, right?
So he's the founder of Second Life.
For it was a little bit surreal experience to meet him in real life. And they said, hey, Philip, come over to our booth and just try it out. And he tried, and he said, yeah, pretty nice. And he liked some ideas we had there, so we've chatted. And majority of people liked it, so it was kind of encouraging. So we said, right, okay, let's continue doing it. And and then you came to our public release.
Yeah. Okay, that was in 2018. Then.
Yeah, 2018. So
right. That was at the time when Ready Player One launched. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
It was exactly the time.
We booked the cinema one day before the world premiere.
And we were kind of disappointed.
It was kind of like the book is better.
Oh, the book. You have to read the book. Yeah, Ready Player One is so much better. Right, exactly. I can remember that. And at that time, You were on stage with Somnium Space, and somebody bought like the Tesla,
True.
or like actually ordered it, something like
Ordered, yes. So and it's still possible to do it in Somnium. So we said, we want to show what is the real case. One of the thousands real cases and real use cases for VR is that you can actually go and buy some stuff, but you can feel the stuff. You can, so you go to the Tesla store in Somnium, you look at the car, and then you just go to the monitor, you do a few clicks, and you reserve one for yourself, and they will deliver it to you to your door.
Right.
It's no problem.
That's cool. That's great. So definitely commerce is going to be really an exciting part in social VR in the future.
And non-intrusive commerce, I would like to say. It's a commerce where it will feel natural to you.
Because you just go to the store, like you would go to the store in
Not
real
even
life,
because it's like in real life, it's because it brings you a next level of abilities, to you as a person. So you would want to go to those stores. It's like, imagine going to Amazon store in VR and then just taking this Alexa and saying, hey, Alexa, and it will just trigger it, and you can talk to it, and you can experience everything like in real life, but you didn't even buy it yet. And then you say, all right, you put it in the virtual pocket,
right,
and then it's ordered directly to you.
Okay.
That's kind of how I imagine the commerce part of this will, and nobody will push you with flashy banners, and nobody will say buy this, buy that. Just a normal experience, showing you products which make sense and stuff. So
yeah, right. And probably beautiful avatars are going to sell this to us.
Yeah, real life people are going to sell it.
Yeah,
to
of
us,
course.
right? So
Who
real
can look
sales,
more beautiful than in real life.
of course. Yes. No, but it's exactly this, right?
Yeah.
You can talk to people. They can help you with that, and that's the future of commerce for sure.
That's cool. So what I think is interesting about this whole VR world is that you can have your own land in VR, and you can build your own stuff. And I think this is like one of the appeals to a lot of people, to earn land and to do whatever they want on that land, and then probably to monetize it.
I still know what you want to build.
Yeah, right.
We're writing some rules exactly
a bit later
in other podcasts, late night XR podcasts.
Exactly. Right. But I really believe that people love to build things, especially in the virtual worlds, like Minecraft. People are spending like so much time.
Absolutely.
And then to be able to build something and monetize it, I believe, is that like the appeal of lots of virtual worlds?
Yeah, I mean, we have sold a lot of virtual land up to date, and we're working right now on the builder itself. We are approaching it quite dramatically different than any other builders for VR, let's say, on the market. And so the main part is you buy the land and you kind of control what is happening on that land. Of course, there will be some rules and some common sense things which you have to obey, which is absolutely normal. And then you have neighbors, and you build your experiences, and it's persistent experience, so that people who will know your experience, they can either walk to that experience, but if it's far away from the citizen, they can teleport there. Because you can place teleport on your land, and then you will be able to teleport through the teleportation system we have. So it's kind of the whole. It's kind of like in real life.
Right. I know that you had been crowdfunding very successfully. Actually, it was like the first crowdfunding was like on Cedars, I believe. Yeah. And you crowdfunded, I don't know, like 400,000?
No. We wanted to crowdfund, or we set the limit of 400,000. Okay. We crowdfunded 114,000 pounds.
Right.
So that was pretty nice. So that brought us a lot of support from the community. But a lot of people didn't manage to buy land on that one. And they were always like, hey, I'm from US. I missed it. So we said, people want to be part of that community, and we need help from the people. So we allowed them to buy that through Indiegogo. And I think in terms of like, you cannot call it crazy successful. We raised on Indiegogo, we raised another $65,000. But I think in terms of VR, proving that there is an working, interesting business model and potential for the VR and for social VR, that's an amazing amount of money. For me, it feels like, $6.5 million, because having people buying land today with the vision of building on that land tomorrow, that's an amazing. That's what fuels us. That's exactly this. This is the future.
Wow. I think the point is that all these people are going to do something with that land.
Yeah,
I think
they're
this
already
point,
doing. We have Discord, people already building museums, bars, houses in the
Now?
3D modeling softwares, and they're
Okay.
preparing to port it
Are they
to
preparing right
of course.
now?
Of course,
Damn,
they already
totally
they
don't
cannot
do that.
wait. We cannot wait. We're trying as hard as we can to build it as fast as possible.
Yeah. I think then at that point when people can really build the stuff and then bring it into the world,
Yep.
this is when it's really going to be super exciting just to walk around there. So when is this point going to happen?
I think within the next 3 months we are
Within the next 3
releasing
months?
we are releasing the versions, and people will start uploading and porting their and building their experiences inside. So our plan is, alongside with the Oculus Go version, which we announced recently, we are planning to release kind of all those aspects simultaneously, because right now we are at the final stage of the reservation process for the people, and you know it. You also
Right.
bought one land parcel,
Right, I have to,
and you have to fill in the
I have to fill in the
questionnaire
question.
for the backers. Lazy person.
I haven't done it yet.
And yeah, so right now people will be actually choosing their spots
Right.
on the
That's
map.
important.
Very exciting. I mean, it will be battle because
Right.
everybody wants to choose some great spots.
So it's like first come, first serve.
First come, first serve. We'll, of course, again, just tell everyone up front when it will be happening. There will be time window, like for 5 days for sitting VR, and then 5 days for Indigo backers. And that's it, so that then people will reserve their land. And in meanwhile, we are building our capabilities to allow them to build on that land.
Nice. How exactly does it work? Let's say if I was not a technical person, I'm just a normal guy. I bought the land from Indiegogo,
Yep.
and I want to build now. Let's say it's me, and I want to build a TV studio where I do some. where I do some interesting shows for the channel.
Okay.
Yeah, something very
Whatever.
respectable.
Yes, very respectable. Yes,
Very respectable
Yes.
stuff. So how do I do that? Let's
So
say I'm not technical.
without porting anything in, you can do it in 2 ways. One way would be to build it in our builder. And if you played Sims in your life ever,
Actually, no.
no, very good game. Hello, Electronic Arts. No, but it's a nice game. It's a great game. It's still very popular. And you just build houses there.
Okay.
So it's kind of like that, but a little bit more in detail and more built for VR. So you build in 2D on the OPC. You zoom in, you build a structure, and then you go into VR and enjoy that structure. It's there.
Wow. So it's an app.
It's an app. Yeah, it's
I downloaded it for Windows or.
No, it's for Windows. Our client will be
Yeah.
for Windows. So you download
Okay.
the launcher, and then you'll be able to use the VR client directly, or you launch into 2D client we have, or kind of we call it PC client. And then in this PC client, it's a whole ecosystem of the Somnium apps inside it, and you can play around with that, and it's a pretty cool experience.
Cool. So I built this stuff in this app, in this Windows
Yep.
app, and it's just like like something like Minecraft or like Sims. I don't know.
Like Sims.
So I built like walls, I guess,
Walls,
different kind of walls.
textures, grass, water. You have your own parcel. You can do there.
Okay.
Yeah, fences.
Right.
Yeah, you can dig the ground because you can go down and up because
Right.
it's you have some meters and so. Yeah, and then you enjoy it in VR. You click the button and you're in VR. You look at it in VR and
cool.
you're interacting it
Nice.
with it.
And then everybody can just come in if I want. I can
You
invite
allow
people.
exactly. You can allow.
Depends
You,
on
can,
what I want
you
to do.
control your land. You can say, look, everyone who wants can come, or only my friends, or no one.
Yeah.
And you can set up things like people cannot hear outside my parcel, or they can hear what's happening inside.
Alright.
All kind of things.
But everybody can see from outside. Can
It
see
depends.
how it
If
looks like.
you click that not, then basically one way to hide it is to build a wall.
Right.
Build the wall. Yeah, I mean, it's a slogan. It just came into my mind. So let's pretend it's from Games of Thrones, all right?
okay.
So you can build a wall, or you can click the button. That's what we are still discussing, and then it will be just kind of there will be some placeholders, so
Okay.
people will not see around your puzzle. It will be just
Alright.
something there, which kind of
Okay.
like a
But in general, probably people want to see what you build because. I mean, for
but
what
it's up to
reasons?
you, right? You might want to hide it
Yeah.
from them.
Depends on what you're building.
Depending on what you're building. Yeah, okay. The stuff you are talking about is even differently done because
Yeah.
then, of course, we will have to It's still possible to do that, but you have to. So only people with verified age
Okay.
will be able to see that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
For the others, it will be kind of blurred out, and you will not be able to see what's inside. And they're not going to be able to go inside.
Right. So since we last talked, I have some more business ideas.
Oh, he's testing our. It's a created stuff a little bit. I'll be checking every creation myself.
Yeah, let me tell you.
All right.
So
Okay.
not seedy at all. Like
No. Very serious.
very serious and respectable
Yes.
business. So the thing is, I am into languages. I really like languages. I speak Chinese, as you probably know,
Perfect.
because of my wife, and since I lived in Taiwan for quite a while, and I really enjoyed the language instruction that I received in Taiwan. I really went to a language school, like a real brick and mortar language school. And
Old school.
and it was amazing.
Yeah,
I was there with 6 other students. Nobody spoke Chinese, and from the ground up, we learned Chinese, and then suddenly we could become friends since we more and more learned the language. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, how amazing would it be to recreate that feeling in VR?
You are the third one already. There are 2 companies contacted us
Who want to do that?
who bought the land and will be doing that.
Ah, really?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not a new idea. Damn. So I have to.
If
hurry
you're talking
up.
about language schools and schooling in general,
schooling, exactly.
it's huge because
Yeah.
it suddenly you can bring hundreds of people inside experiences like our planetarium.
Yeah.
You can actually learn stuff because you can visualize how the solar system looks.
Right.
You can see how fast the planets are spinning, and you can, by already looking just in this at this experience, you can learn things. But then someone will explain you what is actually happening, and there can be interactive experiences. Of course, yes,
Right.
that's the
and
future.
you can bring in the best teachers because they can be anywhere on the planet. They just put on their headsets and then boom, they're there.
Exactly.
Right. So I was thinking like, hey, this would be amazing. I could build like a little school. And the thing is, you don't even need a huge space, right? Like one room, perhaps first.
Yeah, sure.
Like this here, I don't know, and then
test the idea, and then you can always expand and build more.
Right. So I would build probably like a room like this, and have people just come here, like with a whiteboard or what, and then simply teach.
Preach
VR.
and teach. It's up to you what you do.
So this will be pretty amazing.
Yeah,
I
sure.
think, this idea.
Sure.
But then, how about the commerce part? So in general, how I understand your platform until now is like you can build all kind of things with a builder or in Unity or whatever, and then these assets you can sell to others.
Yes,
right.
sure.
This is just like Second Life. All these kind of
there's a store, or the store is also being built, and you can decide that this building, even the whole structure, goes to the store. You put the price on it.
Right.
And if someone buys it, then you get the money, and they get the thing to use.
Okay, cool. How about services?
Exactly.
Let's say okay. I built this school, for example, right? And now, actually, like I am earning money. I want to earn money from people in Somnium Space, like real people or real people. I just tell them, hey, my school is in Somnium Space. Yeah, you have to go there, get the client, go inside. Of course, I could do the money part where they pay me as a teacher outside. Okay, send the PayPal to me or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you also have a plan to have some kind of like in-game money
course,
where they can simply pay me stuff?
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
Tell
us about it.
We'll release set of out-of-the-box features which will allow you, for example, to sell tickets to events or to get the paid access to your land. Things like this, where you can take them, modify them to your need, and use them out of the box through the Somnium kind of payment system. So there will be a set of like 5 or 6 features for payments out of the box, and then we'll expand on that. We'll script more, and people hopefully will script themselves, and that will be expanding. But of course, you can take PayPal outside of this. But what our vision is not to make it completely closed ecosystem. Our vision is we'd rather do it, to lose the revenue. But our vision is my vision is to make it so good working, our system, that you will not want to use anything outside just because it's much more convenient to use our system rather than to go somewhere and take PayPal and whatever.
Right.
That's our vision.
Okay.
Just to proving that we can do it better than anyone else. That's the point. And if we're not, people will use it outside and we'll lose the revenue of it.
You're right.
But I'm pretty sure we can do it pretty well.
Right. So what you're saying is you want to make it so convenient
Yes.
that people don't even think about, I don't want to do this in real life.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, exactly.
Right. So that also means that you're not only going to become a VR world, but a bank. Right?
I mean, we can even borrow some crazier ideas. We are brainstorming and wanting to, like, as we have in our world, we'll already have now parts of the karma system, which your karma system will be kind of like your score of your avatar of yourself, right? People can rate you. People can give feedback about you, and you can give feedback about people, and it will kind of grow. Like, I don't want to compare it to that system in China like they have right now, where the credit system it's not so positive. But while it's not so positive in real life, even though I think it's highly misunderstood what is happening there, and you as closer to the Chinese maybe let's say mentality and stuff, you maybe understand it better. But I think in VR it's crucial to know with whom you're dealing, especially when you are dealing with the money. We think we'll be able to do something like allow people to create banks inside, like they were in Second Life, create real banks inside Somnium Space, and then to lend money to other people based on their credit score or their score. Because if you are a long time VR user of Somnium Space and your karma is high because all the people kind of trust you, then it's much more you are a much more reliable person in that VR space. And if you have a lot of minuses, and if you have a lot of let's say bad reviews on your profile, then something is definitely not wrong, but it needs to be looked at. Right. So things like that. So there are crazy plans to have banks and
right. So this kind of reputation system is already built in.
Part of it, yes.
Okay. Then I'll definitely do the language school, not the other business.
I mean, maybe the other business will bring you more good reputation. Actually,
right.
You'll be a very popular person inside Somnium.
Right,
so I'm not sure whether the school is boring. It's like.
Right. Okay. Cool. Very interesting. I like this idea of having like a reputation that you directly see, so people will be able to rate each other on interactions. Directly from the beginning, or
you can do it already today in our current Steam client. The first iteration of it, but you can like and dislike person, and that goes to the calculation system, and it calculates and adds you some level of.
Okay.
It's right now. It's in the very beginning.
Right.
But we're building the mathematical model on that, how it will be done in the future.
Nice. Cool. So let's talk a bit more about this money system. So how is it actually going to work, and how fast is it going to work? What do you think? So I have real money, and I have to convert it to Somnium money, or tell us a bit more about how this is going to
right
work.
now, not so. Right now, we will have our currency, which is called Somnium Cubes. But right now, we at the first stage, we will just use the real money. So you'll buy things for real money, and then we'll just, you pay with the normal payment providers.
Cash, like dollars.
Yes, because my belief is you can have all those ICOs and all those cryptocurrency things. It sounds super fancy, and trust me, I know investors like to hear those kind of things. But my personal vision is we will do this kind of things whenever it makes sense.
Yeah, when people are more into using it.
Yes, whenever it brings value to our customers, to our users, to us, it will use it. Until then, we will not use it. Very simple.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see a reason today.
I totally get it.
To use cryptocurrency inside Somnium Space to make it more complicated. Yeah, it sounds super fancy, but
agree.
To make it more complicated for users and for us, why?
Yeah, right.
And it's not safer. It's just
It would be like fighting on two fronts at the same time, right? It's like cryptocurrencies. Definitely the future,
yes.
But
right
now
some use cases they're the best.
Yeah, but right now it's like
it has to be step by step.
It makes so
We're
much
not
sense.
rushing out on this stuff.
Exactly.
It's just
let's first do this one right, the VR world.
Exactly.
Right?
Let's nail the basics, guys.
Right.
Okay, and then we can go to space and explore.
Actually, I like this approach. I really think use money now like we do in the real world, and then. Yeah, you will catch up eventually, right? Yeah. Once everybody uses, I don't know, Bitcoin
it's no problem. It's no problem at all to implement things like that.
Okay.
It's just a matter of technology and some time.
Right. Cool. Very exciting. So tell me, where are we right now with Somnium Space?
Right now, amazing things happening, right? So right now we are kind of slowly migrating our users. The backers have already access to Somnium. The code name is Somnium 2.0, meaning that whatever is right now on Steam Live will eventually go offline, and we'll replace it with a new Somnium client. Kind of the vision I had from the very beginning. So now we have, with the support of our backers, we're able to build that. And so the backers already have access to that, to the first version of that, and we're building it right now. We're also going and building the Oculus Go version, and the builder, the parcel management system, the store. All the functionality is just going in. We're coding like monkeys to really make it happen as fast as possible. And so the complete new experience, and people who already tried it, they know what I talk about. The complete new visual and interactive experience coming to Somnium very soon.
So in this year, 2019, people will be able to play Somnium on which headsets?
They will be able to play on all the standard headsets, PC headsets, like Mixed Reality and Oculus and HTC Vive/Index, whatever that will be, on Oculus Go. And let's see if our launch on Oculus Go is successful, and if we do our job well, we'll go to Oculus Quest for sure. There's no reason why wouldn't we, but Go is the first one we are choosing to target.
Right. So it's a free experience. Somebody who just wants to be a
Somnium
normal
is always
citizen,
free.
you can just go there.
Just go there
you
and
can
chat.
talk with people.
Yes. You can even do some stuff like play bowling and things like that. Yeah.
And interact with the stuff that people will build. I
Exactly.
think that's the exciting part.
Also for free, yes. If they decided to be free.
But if I want to build something, something very respectable, of course, then I can buy land. So
Correct.
Now people were able to buy land through Indiegogo and through this Seeder campaign. But how about, what is your model of simply buying land now after the campaigns are over?
It will be done via public auctions. So we'll run it. It will not be able, at least this year, will not allow people to buy land at any moment. We are going to run 2 public auctions this year. Now we call them initial land offering and then secondary land offering. And then in that land offering, you'll have a time frame where you'll be able to bid for some parcels which you like. You place your auction bid, kind of like an eBay. And then if you win it, you win it. If you don't, you don't. And that's how it will work. And then we'll evaluate the auction after 5 days, and we'll allocate all the winnings to you. Or all the land purchases to you if you won something. If you didn't, then you didn't. But what you will be able to do in meanwhile is to most probably to buy the land from other people.
Right. From the people, for example, who won the Indiegogo.
Yes. Already on this initial land offering auction, they will be able to sell the Indiegogo land and offer their Indiegogo land and see what happens.
People want probably.
Exactly. But of course, later on, they will be able to sell you directly through the Somnium Space. Yeah.
So this is going to happen when? This first initial land offering?
We have a time plan. I think we set in time plan something like June this year, or even earlier. We'll push it back a little bit. So realistically, I think we're talking still about summer. So somewhere in July, we will like to have, latest in July, we would like to have this initial offering done. So the auctioning system is being built right now. We're already doing it, but whether it will be ready, and depending on testing and stuff. We'll see when we'll release it, but it's in the time plan for sure.
Nice.
And the next one will be the other one will be in the end of the year.
Okay. So I think for the second offering, for the second bit, then already things will be built in Somnium. People will already understand. People built this already, and now here's the second land offering. And then other
ideally,
people can
even first structures should come live before the first land offering, so that there is so that people actually really understand what is the value behind and how it can be done. But we cannot 100% guarantee that. Depends on a lot of things.
Sure. So this is a very exciting year.
It's hard and exciting. Yeah, for sure. I'm super excited.
Cool.
I'm hyped. Hype is real.
Hype is real. Man, I think you were like going a bit out of the picture.
Sorry.
So let me just check.
Shall we go less to the detail of Somnium and more to some general stuff as well? Or
I'll go more more. Oh man, I hope you were not out of the picture most of the time. More.
Oh, maybe I was. Can you check it? Or you have to pause it and you cannot.
Yeah. If you were outside, then I will just zoom into the picture more. But just stay there.
I'm saying sorry. I don't control myself whenever.
Yeah. All right. So now we talked about where Somnium Space is right now, but now I want to see more into the future. Where do you see Somnium Space in 5 years? What will people do in 5 years?
1 second, I need to grab my crystal ball.
You're right. Okay.
Where's my crystal?
Yeah.
So the vision is they will be able to express themselves freely in terms of building and interactions. Of course, great performance, great avatar systems, great interaction systems. This is all given. That's what we are trying to really do well. But they will be able to kind of go inside and feel natural.
Natural.
They just feel like they have a freedom of movement, so they can go whenever they like and explore. So freedom of exploration, freedom of movement, freedom of choice to do things, choice of speaking to people they want to speak, and just explore, hang around. Mm-hmm. That's but in a real true sense, not hang around in a small tiny world where you after 5 minutes you know where everything is. It's like hang around where you can go for 2 hours in one direction and never see the same scene.
Like, for example, now if somebody put us into Tokyo and everything's like, fuck.
Exactly.
Everything is like amazing. What's going on?
Yeah, exactly. And you just go and interact and talk to people, make new friendships and ask people why they build that. What is this? Just talk to people and interact.
Cool. So what do you think people will do? Will they work in Somnium Space, or what will they do?
I think many people will work, but not in a way that how you maybe imagine and many people imagine it. Not that they will come in and then suddenly they will have 50 screens and they will be doing this and that. That might happen as well. Some people will be doing this, but because the resolution of headsets is already pretty good. You can read the stuff on the screen pretty well. But I think the work will be other way around. It will be kind of like you said that, for example, some sales rep will be showing you some stuff, or someone will be helping you and teaching stuff. So it will come through this. So people will be innovatively finding new ways to earn money through virtual reality by giving people some value and services. I think that's the future of interaction. Nice. Yeah.
So do you believe that the world, the Ready Player One world, is going to happen in 10 years?
It's a good question. I know that it will happen one way or another.
Sure.
Whether it will become in 10... I think 10 years is like full Ready Player One vision, how it is described in the book. I think we are somewhere around 10 years away from that. But, my personal view is that in terms of commerce, for example, like Beat Saber had a huge success.
Yeah.
They sold 1 million copies and all this great stuff.
Yeah.
I think the next Beat Saber type of experience, financially and on a quality side, will happen inside the virtual world. Someone will build that experience and people will pay them 1 million times to go there inside that world. So you can build kind of like, Beat Saber inside Somnium, for example. You can buy land and you can create this arcade hall. So I think the next, or maybe not the next, but eventually the next generation of new games will be monetized inside social worlds, and we hope inside Somnium Space.
Yeah, of course. Cool. Very, very exciting. So definitely social VR worlds are here to stay, and they're just beginning right now.
We are not even at the tipping point. We are really, really in the very beginnings, but that gives us more opportunity to innovate and to prepare ourselves for this, for this uptake of the users.
Right.
Clear.
So in 10 years, we're going to watch this interview and we're going to think, wow, 10 years ago, they
knew what they're talking about. Exactly. Like,
we're going to be somewhere in the virtual worlds right?
100%.
Like this.
I'm not doing a physical interview with you in 10 years. Sorry.
Exactly. I'm not going to go like 1 hour from Dortmund to Düsseldorf to meet you.
No. Really, it will be
like this,
beautiful.
Yeah, I think so.
It's already possible. We're doing events like that.
I mean, I also met you once in Somnium Space.
Exactly right. But when we're doing these events every month, singers coming to sing and people coming to preach their ideas and stuff like that. So that's possible. But for sure, it is going to happen like that. Yeah.
Wow, very exciting. Cool. So as you know, the People in XR podcast is not only about what you do in VR, but also about the people themselves. So
you don't want to know what I do in VR.
I know. I don't want to know. I want to know how you got here. How did Artur Sychov become the founder of Somnium Space? So I would love to understand more about your life before VR and what kind of made you become the founder of Somnium Space. You have already talked a bit about it before, but give us a bit more insight. So I think you come from you lived in Prague, but you're actually from Ukraine.
Yes.
Ukraine.
So I started to. I think I got my first computer in terms of like US standards. I got it a little bit late. So when I was 14, I got my first computer.
Right.
And in Ukraine there are to connect to the internet. It is a challenge. Was a challenge. Right now they have really great internet, by the way.
Probably better than Germany.
Actually, yes. Yeah. They have really fast internet.
Totally
I don't know why it's like that, but it's true. And to connect to internet was a challenge because we have these old lines, phone lines, which are really bad and dropping signals. And even if it's raining, the internet was going down. I'm not joking.
Yeah, I totally believe you.
And I remember the day because when I got the computer, of course, the first thing was to connect to the internet. But we were told that due to the bad line provider, whatever, it's impossible. And I kind of lived with that for 1 year. And then I remember watching some PC gamer TV show, and they said, if you want to try to connect to the internet for free, here's 1 hour of free internet. You could just put your login data. You remember those modems which are doing the sounds like...
Yeah, totally. That was amazing.
So they gave this logins, and I said, you know what, I'll just try.
Okay.
And I put those data, I pressed connect, and expecting nothing because I was told that it's not possible. And then it was doing this for 2 minutes, and after 2 minutes, it said connected.
Oh wow, that's a magic moment.
And for me, it was like ta-da! And I said, oh,
wow.
And I said, I went to the kind of Russian Google, Yandex, huge company, and I went to Yandex, and it started to load. And I said, Hallelujah, I am on the internet.
You're on the internet.
Yes, that changed everything because I was reading already PC gamer magazines, playing games on PC for sure. Mm-hmm. And one of the games which already caught our attention with my friends was Ultima Online. Mm-hmm. It was a first true multiplayer kind of persistent world type of experience, 2D but still amazing. And then I remember I was trying to buy the CD for that, and then I bought it and I went online, and of course my experience was always my internet was creepy and crap, and you're running 3 steps and you freeze, and then you freeze for 10 seconds, then you run again. The internet was really bad, but I enjoyed playing it, the role-playing part of it, and just talking to people and socializing, even through chat. You press the button, the text is above your character. It just really changed myself in a way. So it really engraved these social experiences.
Wow, at that time
I made friends, like long-time friends from Ultima Online. Until today, I know some people who played with me at that time, and we became friends. We have guilds and wars and all those stuff. So that was my first experience with the social aspect of internet and social gaming. And then the second one was when I moved to Prague, and then the Second Life became super popular. And I was reading at that time. I was already starting to work, and I was reading in the business magazines how banks are opening in Second Life and what you can do there. So I said, I'll try it out. So I went to Second Life and just went in, didn't know anything. First thing I clicked, some Russian city, whatever. I went to Russian city, and then I met some guy, and the guy said, what do you do? I asked him what he's doing. He said, I'm a DJ here in Second Life. I'm doing parties for like 200 people every Friday. And he said, come with me. So I came with the party. It was great. I've talked to people. And then he said, what do you do? So I was a DJ as well, doing some radio stuff. And I said to him, I'm actually a DJ as well. So he said, "Oh, you can do every Wednesday the party." So I became DJ in Second Life.
Oh no, man, that's so interesting.
I was DJ. I was making parties
He's
for
DJ.
Russian cities
Wow.
and for Czech cities inside Second Life. My biggest party I throw in for, I think it was Czech main city in Second Life for like 350 people.
Okay.
It's pretty a lot of avatars there, and we have this donation bar jars, and they were putting some money. So I was able to earn like $20 per night, for example,
Yeah,
just
not bad.
doing exactly, just doing DJing. And I
That's
enjoyed it a lot.
amazing.
So that was another
Yeah.
kind of dive into the social interaction online. And
Cool.
yeah, one of my favorite things inside Second Life was just sitting and watching the sunset. They had pretty nice graphics for the sunsets and stuff. So I really enjoyed it. But it was this 2D screen,
Right.
and at that time the graphics is kind of
Yeah.
not existent. But still, it was amazing, and I made
Cool.
so many friends there as well. So. That's kind of the what's the killer app for social VR? The killer app for social VR is just being there, experiencing
live.
it. That's live.
Experiencing
exactly.
live.
Exactly.
Wow. That's so interesting.
that's
man.
how I
You're
came
full
to
of-
this.
You're full of surprises, man. That you are a DJ in Second Life.
I was actually DJ in real life as well, by the way.
Okay, right, got
But yeah, in
DJ
Second
Artur.
Life, DJ Revenger.
Oh, Revenger. Nice. Cool. So you were a DJ in Second Life, and you enjoyed kind of this kind of like online social worlds already.
Yes, and I understood it. I really understood the value of it. It's kind of engraved in me already. I know what it can do and what it can bring to people. And that's why I'm so excited about VR part, because VR, you really not feel you are there. With your brain, you are inside that space.
Right.
And that changes everything. It just changes the way you interact with everyone.
Got it. Cool. Yeah. Tell us more. So
That's gradually I of course play those social experiences, and even up to date I sometimes log into Ultima Online. This 2D experience it's still great. It is good. It is good. So that's how, and that's why when I tried HTC Vive for the first time in 2015, in early 2015, this DK whatever version they had somewhere, I had this chance to try it out, and it just blew me away. And once I tried it, I saw this path, clear path, really, like some force came to me and said, Artur, it will be like that. And I just saw those interactions and those millions of people playing inside virtual worlds, and not even playing, being there. And again, we are sitting here in Düsseldorf. We are sitting in Düsseldorf. We are living, quite okay lives, and we are not in the worst part of the world.
No,
we
it's
are
pretty nice.
doing pretty nice,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's
So we have pretty good reality. But there are
Right.
many people outside, in many countries, in many parts of the world, where they don't have this pretty nice experiences outside, and many of those people will not be even able in their lifetimes to get those pretty nice experiences in life. And for them, the only escape possible, which is coming, is VR. I'm not joking.
and it sounds exactly like Ready Player One.
But that's exactly like this. And we don't need to have a World War III to get there.
Yeah.
It's already like this in many countries, and it is natural that some countries are more rich, some countries are poorer. But the power of VR is to bring the quality of life and the quality of experiences to everyone, be it learning, gaming, friendships, all this kind of stuff. Just if Facebook connected 2 billion people just by being on screen, the next thing is VR. So they will become connected in kind of real life. That's why
pretty amazing.
Facebook is doing Oculus.
Yeah.
That's exactly the reason why they're doing it.
Right. So this is pretty amazing. So there's more behind it than just playing some game. In your opinion, it can really help make people's life better.
I have crazy ideas about how it will evolve. Actually,
Tell us, man. Tell us more about.
Should I tell?
We want to know
man.
what are you?
No. My personal opinion is
Yeah,
that
your
some
personal
countries, so that in Africa, they didn't go to these landlines. They leapfrog the landlines, telecommunication
Right,
landlines,
they did
and
that
they
already.
immediately had mobile phones,
Right.
because they didn't need to.
Exactly.
And I think many countries, where developing countries, will kind of leapfrog the real life and go directly into VR. And I think many countries, and there will be cities which will be built from ground up for VR. So that people will not be leaving their rooms and being in VR all the time, and the food will be delivered to them, and all this whole infrastructure in those cities will kind of become built around that VR notion that people are most of the time, and they will be working there. Like you have a lot of freelancers from right now from Asia, Right?
Yeah, right.
Who said they cannot work in VR? They will be, and they will want. That's the point. Suddenly, work will not feel like boring work in front of the 2D PC. Suddenly, work will feel fun even, because they will be able to become the best sales representative of the Amazon store in Somnium Mall, or they will become the best, doctor in the virtual hospital or psychiatrist, whatever. This kind of experiences will be enabled by VR.
Right, and they can be in some little room in Pakistan.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. But they will feel like they're free.
Right.
And it's not only feeling, because what is our reality? It's our perception of the world around by our brain. If we are perceiving the world around by our brain in VR headset in the same way as we're perceiving in the real life, then you are there.
Right. So that means, well, that's a really interesting thought. So in your opinion, there will really be like whole cities where people are just like incarcerated, but they incarcerate themselves in
I'm
these
100% sure.
places.
Quote me on that,
Okay.
please.
Okay.
I'm 100% sure this will happen.
All right, wow. So they will definitely get their real life food just delivered.
Sure.
And they will just eat in their. Will they keep on eating while they have the headset on?
Yes, because some people are doing it already today, like me, for example. So I'm sure it will come even more, for sure.
Right.
Of course.
Wow, that is truly exciting. Yeah, probably at one point we will connect this to our brains, and then the food will taste amazing, because
we need to ask Elon. Bring them Elon to this podcast. When is the Neuralink? He exited, I think, Neuralink already. When it's coming? Yeah, but anyways, of course. I'm not sure whether it will be like physically sticking something in your head, but I think one way or another, computers through the brain waves will be able to read your kind of your thoughts or directions of your thoughts, and then it will be.
Wow, so this is like a really like broad vision for the future of VR, that we are completely in VR all the time. But isn't it a bit sad? I mean, from now,
it's not. And the reason for that, and I'll quote Vita, our COO in Somnium. Once he also greatly said that, everybody say, oh, it's sad that it's bringing people close to the homes and stuff. But again, for many people, there's no other way how to interact with the world than this. And actually, many people are shy in the real life.
You're right.
But they're more open in virtual reality.
That's true.
So for majority of people, it will be kind of an opening to the world rather than closing themselves. Even though physically they will be in some place far away from those people, but mentally they will be much more open persons than they would have been in the real life if this technology didn't exist. That's my opinion. I'm really strongly seeing this.
Got it.
And of course, there will be crazy people who will be closing. It's as in real life.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, however, if we only live in virtual reality, and if all of our lives is in virtual reality, how do we procreate?
No. It's differently. VR will be always competing with the real life. So the biggest competitor of VR experiences is not PlayStation 6 or 7 or 25, it's or Xbox, whatever. It's real life. So our main competitor right now, it's real life, and it will always be. There will always be people who say they will prefer real life experiences. There will always be people who will be preferring only VR experiences and something in the mix. So I'm not saying that the whole planet will evolve into because if you are in Prague, for example, and you have all those, exactly. Why would you close yourself forever to VR if you have all those great buildings and people and parks around you?
Yeah.
But occasionally you will want to.
You're
but
right.
if you are in, I don't want to offend any country, but if you are in middle of Libya right now, where it's not only the war but also a very bad condition, you would want to escape from time to time to some really nice places. That's obvious.
And I really believe what you said before about the marketplace, that some people will be able to become the best doctors, even they are in Libya right now.
Yes. We don't know them.
This part is so exciting.
Yes. Very powerful.
This part is super powerful and for sure going to happen.
And with if you connect dots, like we have robots who are making surgeries right now.
Yes, right.
Now you connect low latency with good headsets, and now suddenly the doctor in VR headset can make a surgery via robotic arms from Libya, and the patient is in San Francisco, just because through the low latency he can just cut and see everything the doctor would normally see. Boom. Isn't that freeing? Isn't that amazing for the future of humanity?
Right.
For sure.
For sure. Cool. So let's talk about the industry right now, and especially since you are one of the founders of the VR worlds, I would like to know your opinion about where we are with the social VR worlds right now.
We are at the very beginning, and I'm seeing sometimes, people misunderstanding the situation. I was presenting at some conference in Prague, and someone asked me from the jury, they were like, but didn't VR disappoint so far? I asked whom, but the growth was slower than expected. I said, but the growth is first of all like 100% per year.
Yeah, it's like
it's very good.
It's
but
not bad, right?
Yeah, but again, what do you expect from that? We know it's inevitably coming. We know that more and more people will be in VR inevitably. It's just a matter of how do we get there. And we're at the very beginning. We're like pre-iPhone era, long way pre-iPhone era, which is great because it allows us to make new things and to think through some fundamental basics of how interaction will work. That's why I'm so excited, because we're shaping the future of social VR today. So I think social VR is highly misunderstood today. Like, people treat social VR by going to Somnium or by going to Altspace on high fidelity and rec rooms and stuff, and they think, oh, that's the vision. That's the vision. Some half of the rooms are empty. Some people are doing crazy stuff and saying
chat.
Crazy words. VR chat, for example. So that's not that's not social VR of the future. That's just the beginning of roots. We even didn't put the seats yet. It's just so early, and that's great. It's just very early in the development phase.
Right.
It's hard to judge right now what social VR will be by looking at the let's say at the worlds right now. And
Right.
even crazier is to try to find, in my opinion, to immediately find instant business models.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what business models are you talking about today?
Right. So at the
No.
moment, it's not about making money.
No, it's you can make money, but by delivering meaningful experiences to people,
Mm-hmm.
you can make some. I mean, we have sold $200,000 worth of virtual land.
Yeah.
Those are real money, which
Right.
went to the company and fueled our development.
Right.
That's okay. That's
Yeah.
today.
Well, you need that money in any ways, right? It
exactly.
costs so much money
Exactly.
to make this happen.
So that's fine. But expecting today to earn 20 billion from social VR, it's a little bit silly. And
Right.
whoever is claiming that this is the goal for the next year or for next 2 years, that's silly too. You will be able to kind of gradually come to the moment where you'll be able to earn sustainable amount of money, but the amount of development to get there is also pretty big,
Mm-hmm.
and you need to kind of get to that point for
Right.
sure.
What do you think? How long until that point where you can make good money with virtual worlds?
Oh, you can make good money with virtual worlds already today if you're
Yeah.
innovative enough. But are you talking about the company side or the user side, or both?
Let's have both.
I think from the company side, how I look at it, you will be able to start earning money pretty soon, but the amount of money will be small and will be growing. So
Right.
once you build ecosystem of experiences and allow other people to build ecosystem of experiences, this amount will be growing, and people will be doing more and more transactions.
Mm-hmm.
So I cannot give you the dollar amount of money, but
No.
I'm very confident that within 3 years, like company like Somnium will be feeling pretty good in terms of the expense and the revenue and the profit.
Right.
So I'm not saying we're going to be earning 20 billion per year, but it depends on the what can we deliver. It depends on us
Sure.
actually.
Yeah, I believe once you allow normal people to make money in your worlds,
Exactly.
I think at that point you're
Exactly.
good, right? When
Exactly.
other people can make money.
Exactly. And then it's only about scaling, supporting the community, but allowing people to create their own experiences and monetize them. That's the goal number 2
Right.
of Somnium Space. And number 1 is to create the best VR presence in the world. That's number 1.
So how do you feel to be in this so early?
Amazing. No, it's really it is dream come true, and it's it's very. At some moments, you can feel not the pressure, but not the bad pressure, but the good one. Every decision we made today, together with Altspace and VR chat and stuff, will affect how people are using those things in the future. Mm-hmm. And that's why we have formed with High Fidelity and Genos VR and other companies. So we have formed this, and AdMix, for example, this virtual reality blockchain alliance where we meet every month and even more often, and we discuss what will be the future of interactions, what will be the future of advertising in VR, what is the privacy aspect of the people, how can we allow people to control their data, all those things we discussed already today. Yes, at some points it sounds really, really forward-looking what we're discussing there, but it's important to talk today and not to screw up within the next 5-10 years, because then it will be too late.
Got it.
So, yeah.
Right. Very interesting. So now we're getting closer to the end of this podcast. And normally I always ask the guests, where do you see VR, not just VR worlds, not just social VR worlds, but the VR industry right now in 2019? Where are we with that? And what excites you about 2019?
I think 2019 will be a very strong year for hardware. I think it's not the final destination of hardware, but it's beginning of the road to the final destination of hardware. Okay. Let me say like this, like the Quest, for example. Yeah. Let's see what it delivers, or the Go even. It's a pretty amazing device, but all the companies, we see more and more companies jumping into the game, like Valve creating their Index, and Samsung and Microsoft are still kind of waiting, but Samsung already has amazing hardware in the game. I think next 2 years would be refining hardware in a pretty amazing rate. And once the hardware will be kind of getting to the point of very interesting price and quality and mass adoption, then we'll start seeing within the next 2-3 years some amazing social interactions within this, and we hope that at that time we are there to deliver that amazing social interaction, because today we are learning and building and growing our community, and in 2-3 years we'll be super strong to deliver that oasis, that dream to everyone. So that's kind of where I see it.
Wow, that's a great answer. So basically at the moment still positioning yourself to be there once mass
just
adoption
digging the ground and making the dirt work of actually figuring it out. Because many things in VR right now, it's to figure it out. Like there's no answer to the right answer to how you do it right in VR.
Right.
There's no correct answer, and that's the beauty of it.
Right, to figure it out.
To figure it out.
Man, amazing. I think that was an amazing talk. Always a pleasure to speak with you.
As always, yes.
And we're going to keep on talking every year and see where we evolve with VR. Yes. So thank you so much, Artur.
Thanks a lot for having
being
me.
here. That was amazing.
Thanks.
Really enjoyed it a lot. And looking forward to speak with you next time. And all the best for Somnium Space.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah. I really hope that you enjoyed this episode as much as we did. And well, if you liked it, of course, give it a thumbs up. And if you're listening to this, please give this podcast a good review so more people can find it. And I'm looking forward to meet you in the next episode.